Hi friends, are you thinking about starting your dream business and producing a product and putting it out there for people to buy, but you just don't know how to start? Well, I'm here to help you get unstuck and get started on your dream business. I'm Tressa, and I have over 30 years of developing my own brands, producing them, and getting them into the marketplace. I have a specialty food brand for over 28 years, and I have the brand behind me that I developed about 5 years. So I want to give you 10 steps to follow so you can get started on getting your product out there. So step 1, clarify your business and the problem you're going to solve for the consumer. So it can be as simple as your customer has a sweet tooth and they need a great product to solve that. So who is your customer and what problem are you going to solve for them? Number 2, let me back up. Make sure there's a demand for your product. So you do want to test that product, but we'll get into that a little bit further. Number 2, do your market research. How big is your market? Who's your target audience? So again, you want to kind of define who are you going to be selling to? What are the trends? Are you within the trend? It doesn't have to be a trendy product, but it needs to be something that your customers will want to spend their hard-earned money on. The pricing models. How will you price this product? You want to study your competitors and see where they're pricing their product and what offerings they have that's within your niche. But you don't want to dwell too heavy on them. I've been caught up in the past of being a little obsessed about my competitors, and you're not them and they are not you. You're special, you have a secret sauce business. Focus on that, but do see what they're doing. Just look at their pricing, their products, and how well they're doing in the marketplace. And then again, identify what makes you special. There might be 1,000 cooking sauces or salsas on the market, but you may have one that stands out above all of them because it's so special. So identify that and see what makes you special. Write a simple business plan. Define your company name. First off, that's going to be very important to look at your company name and what it says about your product and your business. Outline your vision for the company. Do you want it to be just a home-based business, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are making millions of dollars just working solo and at home. What are your goals with the business? Who's your target market? Products, identify your products or service. Write a simple financial plan. And how are you going to sell your products? Is it going to be hand-to-hand at markets and farmers markets and boutique fairs? Are you going to primarily sell online? Or do you plan on taking this at a wholesale level and selling it to your local markets, boutiques, and stores in your area? So your business plan does not have to be super complicated to get started. It could be the proverbial back of the napkin business plan. Just get it down, maybe 5 or 10 pain points that you need to understand to get your product in the marketplace. A business plan is a moving target, so you will update it and define it as you grow your brand. Number 4, you want to choose a legal business structure. And I'm going to suggest, I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm going to suggest that most companies could start out as a sole proprietor and using your Social Security as your tax ID number. It's expensive to be a corporation and an LLC. So my food business, the first 2 years, we started out as a sole proprietorship and then we turned it into an S Corp. So you can always do that later. If you decide to go with a legal business structure, you can go to places like LegalZoom online and they will help you set that up, or you could find yourself a business attorney. But again, if you're starting out and you're trying to prove your concept and see if it's going to turn into a real business, you might want to consider just beginning as a sole proprietorship. There's also partnerships out there. I'm going to highly suggest you stay away from partnerships, at least in the beginning, because this is your baby. This is your product. You've had maybe this recipe in your family for years and you want to take it to market. Why are you going to bring somebody in and give away part of the company right up front? You don't know where it's going to go. You don't know how big it's going to be. So if you can hold off on that, that would be excellent, because you don't know. Having a partner is like being married. You better know that you could work with that person forever, number one. And again, you don't want to have to ask permission to change anything in the company, since it's your product, right? So if you can, that's what I suggest. I did not have my husband was a partner in my first business, my second business. Nobody's a partner with me. I can actually say I love that more, because I don't have to really answer to anybody about what I'm doing with the product line. All right. So, and we're still married after 28 years of running a company together, but it's a rocky road too. So think about that as your partner, as your business partner. And then when you're considering your legal structure, you want to look at your liability, your taxes, insurance, etc. So number 5, and you're not going to do these all in 1 week. You're going to work through this list and starting at top 1 and going down the list. So number 5 is go register your business name. You picked out your name. You know what you want to do. Go get your business name registered. First off, you want to obviously search the internet and make sure your business is not taken by somebody else, and that you will be able to trademark it down the line. There's nothing worse than going through all the trouble and you've designed everything and you're really set on one name and you launch it, and then you get a legal letter saying cease and desist. That name is owned by somebody else. So it's going to pay back tenfold if you take some real time and you research it and find out if indeed you can, number 1, get the URL and the email URL and trademark that name maybe in a year or 2 down the line. Are you going to need a DBA? So I found that, at least in California, if you name your business something out there that has no association with your name, you're going to need to get a fictitious name statement. But if you name your product with your name in it, like I did with the secondary brand, it has my last name in it, I did not have to get a fictitious name statement. So that was really helpful to understand. You're going to need your business license, your permits. Every state is different. California requires a lot of permits. Maybe in your other state or the state you're living in, not so much. Your employer identification number, again, if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to go off your Social Security, I believe, but make sure you check all of this out because I'm not giving any legal advice here. And then get some resources behind you to check all of these things out. I love the SBA. I think they're nationwide. I know they're here in California. So they're a small business association. and they're made up primarily of retired entrepreneurs. So whatever you're looking for, whatever information you need or problems you have, you could call them up and tell them what you need, and they will find somebody in the country to connect you with, and that will become your mentor. And I've used them frequently over, several times over the 30 years where I was just stuck somewhere and call them up and they connect me with somebody. And it really helps also to relate to another entrepreneur that's been in your position. Okay, so also in your state, your Secretary of State and your Department of Revenue is going to be able to give you all of the information you might need for your business licenses and permits that you're going to have to pull. Okay, number 6, open up a separate business banking account. I can't stress this enough. If you mingle your business money with your personal money, same account, you're not going to know where you stand financially in your business. So you, with a business bank account, say you put in $100 to start your business, and then you go out there, you make your product, you sell it, you deposit checks. Every time you look at that bank account, you're going to know exactly where you stand financially. If it's mixed with your money, at your household money, you're not going to know at a snapshot where you are, and you can nickel and dime your business to death. So once you put in those deposits from the customers, I'm going to stress, if you can, for the first several months, don't touch any money out of that account. Just use it to buy more ingredients, to make more product, to sell. So you're starting slow, but you're starting that snowball effect where you can turn around at the end of the year and see that you have a big chunk of money, and then you can start drawing off of that. But you're not going to really know where you are if you're just plunking it in your personal bank account. So do that if you can. Okay, so that's number 6. Number 7, create a financial plan and a budget. Again, this can be a back of the napkin when you're getting started, and you will improve and do and update it as you go. But if you have this, it's going to be a guide to kind of keep you in check. So you want to estimate your startup costs. Hopefully you're not going to have fixed overhead to start unless it's something that you can't make at home. Okay, I know in California you can get a cottage license to make food products in your home kitchen. They come out and they inspect and they give you the approval of what you're making to cook at home and go to markets and sell the product. So you're not dealing with having to go lease a commercial kitchen and have startup costs before you're making money at your business. So just estimate those startup costs. It might be as simple as going to Costco and buying flour and sugar and ingredients to get started. Your monthly expenses, again, do you have fixed income or fixed expenses or variable expenses? Your revenue goals, what do you think you can start making the first month? Say if you signed up for 4 farmers markets, what do you think your revenue goals will be? And you're going to adjust this as you get started. And then figure out what tools, basically your tools to manage your business will be. So are you going to start up with QuickBooks? I've been using QuickBooks for about 25 years. I do love the platform because I can just drop down, look at reports. I could see how much of one product I sold, what was the percentage, how many sales I did, what were my expenses. But it can be kind of expensive to get started if you're just launching your company. So you could do something as simple as an Excel spreadsheet by listing your customers and your sales and your expenses. But do keep a clear record because you're going to need this at the end of the year to file your taxes. I use QuickBooks. I use Square for receiving credit cards when I'm out selling face to face at a market. And I use Venmo, and then I just take the Venmo and transfer the money into my business bank account at the end of the week or month, whatever I need to do. So those are like your accounting tools. None of these businesses or companies that I just mentioned sponsor my program, my channel. I'm just telling you what I use, but I know there's a lot of other tools to choose from in those categories. So look around and see what fits your style. Okay, so number 8 is build your brand identity. This is my area where I get super excited. I could talk for an hour about building your brand, what you should do, but I'm just going to hit on some highlights, and in another video I will go super deep into this and talk about it in length. So you want to build your logo. So think about this. As a consumer, when you're shopping at the grocery store or you're going to a farmer's market or a craft show, what stops you what stops you to look at that table or the product on the shelf? You're not going to get any traction if you go super cheap and decide to do a homemade label with no style and no functionality behind it. So build a logo that means something. Are you an indie brand? Are you an organic brand? Are you a masculine brand? So your logo really wants to talk to the consumer in a split second about who you are and what you're selling them. So 28 years ago, I went to a professional graphic designer. I did not go cheap and decide to design my own brand. And we developed a beautiful food label. I kept that label for about 18, 19 years, and then I ended up changing it. But this is so important. It's just, you want to convey a beautiful message, and first impression says everything, right? The consumer will get to know your product and come back for more if they love it, but first you have to get their attention with the packaging. So your brand colors, so you've developed your logo. I went to a professional graphic designer, but there are some really great AI tools out there right now to develop logos, and it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars like I spent in the past, but you still need a good eye, a trained eye to look at those logos and your packaging and understand how it all works together. So choose your colors. So what a color says almost everything about your brand, right? My original brand colors on the brand behind me was just a simple black and white. It was very French apothecary, farmhouse look. It was beautiful, but I did see that was a trend that became oversaturated in the market, and I really wanted to stand out above the rest for my brand. And I went with a very elegant, striped, beautifully colored label. So I changed the Home Bath and Body Care label, but I didn't tweak it so much that people couldn't find me after they fell in love with the original label. We can talk about that on another episode. So messaging. You want your messaging and your tagline to tell the customer all about you. It's kind of an elevator pitch, right? What do you do? Who are you? Are you somebody that has a beautiful farm and decided that you wanted to create a jam line that is fresh picked and made by your hands? So people want to hear a story and the message behind the brand. They can really support that. I think the days of the big corporations, they're not over, of course. You know, everybody's going to still go to the grocery store and buy these brands. They're still in the marketplace. But more and more people want to support small local brands with a great story behind it. So develop that messaging, tell the story about who you are and why you created this product for them. Don't be cheap on the label design. So once you develop your logo and your colors, let's develop a label. You want to get a lot of that information on the front label that tells the story. Is it organic? Is it handmade? Made local? So think about those messages on a little package. I've seen in the past what a lot of people have done wrong is they have all of this information and they write it on a big sheet of paper and then they think they can get it on a square this big, and it doesn't resonate with the customer. It's too much information. So bold highlights so you can get them to pick up that package, and then you can tell the story maybe on the side of the label, but don't put too much in the front that will clutter the packaging. Okay, so taking great photos. This is part of your building your brand identity. You can take great photos with your camera, your phone camera. The things you need to get right when you're doing that is staging it and lighting, right? So I use my iPhone, and I've taken all of my food products and all of my home bath and body care products simply by my iPhone. It's just the lighting has to be right, so it's not too dark. Depends on your mood. If you're going for a dark, moody look, then you want to still have the right lights coming in. So do a good job with your photos. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a professional photographer. Just get the staging and study some of the other brands that have beautiful photos. You know, Pinterest, Instagram, there's so many beautiful photos out there. You can just kind of look at what style you want to go for and study those other brands, and you'll start to get it. Play around with it. You could take 1,000 photos and delete them. That's the beauty of what I didn't have that advantage in the beginning with my food line. I was hiring professional photographers, and I was paying thousands of dollars per staged photo. So the time is right. You have that free camera in your hands, so go for it. All right, so number 9, you want to set up your online presence at this point. So you've made it through all these other steps. You've developed your look. You have the labels, and now you're going to go out there and set up your online presence. Again, in the beginning, when you get your name figured out, make sure that name is available on the platforms you want to be on. I'm going to suggest that you don't go too deep in all the platforms. You know, you don't Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of them, because you'll get overwhelmed, you'll burn out, and you'll stop posting. I've done it. I've burned out so many different times, I can't tell you. I am a creative person. I get excited, and then I overcommit, and then I can't keep that commitment because I'm running a company and I'm trying to be everything to my company. So I would suggest pick out maybe, just a few, depending on your age group that you're targeting. Obviously, if you're targeting 40, 50, 60-year-olds, you're not necessarily going to pick TikTok. But if you're trying to target the younger generation, then TikTok's a great platform for you. So go out there and find your domains. I would say go get your name established under all the domains, but you don't have to post to all of them, right? You just want to grab those URLs. So then you want to consider what platform you're going to sell on. So do you want to open up an Etsy store, go to Amazon, or develop your own website? I've always just developed my own website. I know that it's really hard to get noticed and sell on Amazon. You'll find a lot of people on YouTube talking about how they've made millions on Amazon. I think it's very, very difficult. It's to get noticed, and they're changing as well. So it's a little bit harder to make a profit because their fees are going up. I did start an Etsy store not that long ago. I really don't have any traction on that platform. I think, again, you have to pay advertising dollars to get noticed, and their fees are going way up. They're taking, in my opinion, way too much money from the creator on their site. So my preferred platform is Shopify. They're not sponsoring me. I use both of them. I use Shopify for both of my businesses. The first website I did not set up, but the second brand I set up on my own. I picked out one of their templates and I just spent evenings figuring it out, plugging in my photos, setting up the coding. They make the you're not really coding as much as you are just understanding how to put your tag words in there, and then it codes for you. So I highly recommend setting up your own platform. There are some others out there besides Shopify. I've just never worked on any of them, so I can't speak to how they perform or how easy or hard it is to set up your own website. You could probably find a young kid maybe at a local junior college that could help you if you're feeling way too intimidated. Shopify used to have a phone number where you could call and talk to experts and they would walk you through. I don't think they have that anymore. I have not been able to talk to anybody, but they have virtual assistants that you can ask a question. So there's a way around it of making your initial website on a budget, and definitely keep that budget tight because you don't want to spend all your money and go into debt before you've made your first sale, right? So develop your website, set up your social media platforms, and that is number 9. So I know there's a lot in number 9. We're getting really deep, but don't panic, don't worry. Just go back, watch this video again. Just start with baby steps. That's all you need to do is baby steps. Number 10, you are here at number 10 and you are going to go out and start selling your product. I am so excited for you because this is the best place to be, right? You've set up your beautiful table, make sure your display is beautiful, everything matches, and you're at a local market, and they open the gates and the people start flowing in, right? You're launching your product and you are starting to get feedback from your customers. So this is word of mouth marketing, which is now considered viral marketing. Word of mouth is the way I started. I didn't have social media. I didn't have platforms like this to spread the word. I went out there and I sampled and I did a lot of markets, and people loved the product so much that they told all their friends, all their coworkers, all their family, and customers started to flow to me in that manner. So going to markets and selling face-to-face is the best way for you to kind of get your finger on the pulse of your product and to understand if people love it. If you go and you set up and at the end of the day you've sold out, you know you have a winner and you're just going to keep making more. If you go and people kind of walk by, they don't notice you because your signage or your display or your packaging is so-so, and you're packing up your car at the end of the day with a lot of product in it, you need to go back to step one and go through this list and see where you are going wrong with your product. Okay, is it the taste? Is it the packaging? Is it the presentation? What's happened here? So events, the content marketing is to build traction, obviously. So when you're, aside from these markets, you want to start posting to your social media platforms. When you're at these markets, take a clipboard with a line sheet and build that email marketing list. So if people are stopping at your table, they love what you have, ask them, would you like to join my email marketing list? I will send you specials. I promise not to overwhelm you with too many emails, but I do want to let you know where I'll be next, or if I'm having a sale. If they love your product, most people do sign up for these, okay? I started in an era where I had to send out catalogs. It was the catalog era where that was our marketing. We would print catalogs, thousands of them. We would use our own names, and we would buy mailing list names, and we would mail these catalogs out at strategic times of the year. I could tell you that is still alive and it still works. I just rolled that back to be a bit more conservative because it is very, very costly. You do see the sales, but you have to be really, really careful with this technique to not spend more than your sales, that basically your ROI, your return on investment of this. So my suggestion with print material first is to print either a postcard or a little flyer. I use Vistaprint for this online. I've developed and designed my own flyer there. There's a lot of these companies out there that you could find, so I haven't worked with any others. This is just the platform I've used for the last couple of years. But you do want to print something to send with the customer. So if they're buying from you, you slip a little card in there. Maybe that card says, thank you for your purchase. Please visit our website and receive 10% on your next purchase. Or I'll be at these markets next. Have a list of markets and dates where you will be so they can come back and buy from you. So print is important. Just keep it very simple and affordable to begin with. And also, so you're selling at these markets, you're selling hand to hand, you're selling on your website. Are you going to sell wholesale? Do you want to go out and sell to the local boutiques or the specialty food store in your local area, and eventually maybe go to trade shows and set up and sell wholesale around the United States? This is a great avenue to build your business. Just know that your profit margin is going to be a lot less, right? If it costs you $5 to make your product and you're selling it for $20, $15, $20 at the farmers markets, you're going to have to sell it for cheaper, maybe $10, $12 to the wholesale customer. And you'll package it in maybe case packs of 6 or 12 or 24, depending on what you have. But you are going to get a lower profit off that product if you're selling wholesale. That's okay. I don't discourage that because I have worked with the wholesale market for years and years. It's always made up a large percentage of my overall sales. Just know what you're getting into when you approach your local store. And then that printed material, maybe a small sample, and a printed price sheet that you can make on a Word doc or an Excel spreadsheet. All your contact information, make sure everything that you print has an easy way to contact you. If you want your phone number, great, your email, your website, and so on. Okay, so, and then when you're there, when you're selling, when you're getting feedback from the wholesale customer, possible customer, or the people you're selling to face, ask for constructive criticism or feedback. Don't get offended if people tell you the truth about your product. Take it to heart and appreciate it because they're trying to make you better. All right, so when you're out there, you might even want to do this way before you're selling. Go find people you love and trust and ask for their honest opinion and tell them, please don't worry about insulting me. Tell me your honest opinion. You will learn more about your product if people are honest with you than trying to make you feel good. So I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited you're ready to launch your business. Don't be afraid. It's actually so much fun. You're going to grow and understand more about who you are, the grit you have inside you, your tenacity, and you're going to provide a fabulous product for somebody out there that doesn't know that they need it yet. You're going to show them that this is a product they've been missing in their life. So welcome. I will be here again talking deeper on all these points and going into costing your product and a lot of other subjects. I have so much to share with you. So I can't wait to see you guys again. Have a great day. Go out there and crush it and get started.